Today, we take our chances. We either do this justice, or we will have cooks and bakers alike screaming at the moon in terror. This must be 999 Things to Cook. We start with our dough. In a bowl, we precisely measure our flour. No clue as to how much, and don't care either. Then add our salt. This much, I would say. Amish butter, cubed up and in the freezer for a while so it's extremely cold. Maybe it's about 2 or 3 sticks worth, but I don't know. Then we throw in some chunks of lard. You can use vegetable shortening instead if you wanted. A nice close-up for you. Then, using our hands, we want to break the butter and lard into very small chunks within the flour. I know what you're thinking. Where are my gloves since I always wear them? For this kind of thing, I don't want my sense of touch to be compromised, especially since I didn't measure anything. The consistency should stay very loose and crumbly here, so no mashing things together yet. Just breaking apart the fats into the flour. Next, you pour in some ice water. Don't pour in the ice, just the water, little by little. Start working it together with your fingers for a bit. It will start to hang together in large flaky looking pieces but still be crumbly. When it looks like this, normally we would pour it onto the board and gently work it together to form a gentle ball of dough. But we are not making normal flaky pie crust this time. We need this crust to be much firmer at the end, so we continue to work the dough a bit. After I was able to roughly get it to hold together into 2 dough balls, I took them out of the bowl. I didn't go so far as to knead the dough, but I did pick it up with my hands and work it as if I was packing a snowball in the winter. Okay, now we have our dough. They get wrapped and put into the fridge for at least an hour. Next, we make our pie filling. Ground lamb goes into the bowl. A good amount of salt. Freshly cracked black pepper. Some white pepper, garlic powder, smoked paprika, crushed red pepper, Kashmiri chili powder, toasted and ground cumin seeds, some dried oregano, 3 finely minced serrano chilies, a shredded and squeezed onion. To do this, you shred an onion, which is all sorts of fantastic fun. Then you take handfuls of the shreds and squeeze all the juice out of it. We don't want too much moisture in the meat, and that's why we do this. And lastly, 2 egg yolks. Then just use your hands and mix it all up very well. Wrap it up and refrigerate till you are ready to build the pie. This filling is going into the pie raw, and I know what you're thinking. The raw meat is going to leak juice out and make the bottom pie crust soggy. But I have a secret weapon for that. The secret weapon is mushrooms. We take our mushrooms and chop the hell out of them very small. Then, in a dry pan, throw all the mushrooms in and put a lid on it. You will see water starting to come out of the mushrooms. When there is a good amount of moisture coming out of them, remove the lid and cook off the liquid. Then put the lid back on so that more water comes out of them. Once there is a lot of liquid in the pan, you can strain all the water out of it and put the mushrooms back into the pan if you want. Keep cooking the liquid out of them for a while. This will be tiny little mushroom sponges that will line the bottom of the pie to soak up the juices from the meat. Then, just to be safe, I put them on an oven sheet and into a 220-degree oven until they are very dry. You can keep the oven door slightly ajar to let moisture escape. Okay, last step before we build the pie. We need a sauce. Greek yogurt goes in a bowl. Peeled and shredded cucumber goes in. Freshly chopped mint leaves. Garlic paste. Ground cumin seed. Just a dash of Kashmiri chili powder. Kosher salt. Fresh lemon juice. And mix. Always taste as you go. This needed a lot more mint added. Wrap it up and chill it. If you make this the night before, it will be even better. Now, we build our pie. Bottom crust. Mushroom layer. Lamb mixture. Crust. Inch of the top. .375-degree oven until done. And just look at that. The bottom crust was not soggy at all, but there was one issue. The crust wanted to fall away from the meat. Normally, you would let a pie cool before cutting it. I let it cool for almost an hour, but since it was already 4 in the morning and I had to be up in a few hours for work, I cut into it when it was still very hot in the middle. Perhaps if I let it cool down for several hours, the crust would have bind to the meat better. Or maybe there is another trick that can be done to make the crust stick that I'm not aware of. Not an overall success, but it was delicious and definitely interesting to make. What do you think? Leave some comments and I will see you on the next video.